tell the story about when you couldn't write. And you're like, why the fuck can't I write? But I know Morse code. And they said,
okay.
Because that goes right up.
It does. So okay, so haters and stuff like that, and you're probably going to find out from the people closest to you, who have known you all your life and stuff, that should support you and encourage you to do what you're wanting to do and everything else. But those are going to be the ones who are going to tell you can't make it, you can't do it. They're going to remind you of your past failures and things like that, or just not believe in you, because for one thing, they're small-minded, and they don't want to see you do something that they don't think that them themselves can do. And that's where the haters in the Marine Corps come from too. That's when haters can't swim. They don't want to see, somebody else doing shit that they couldn't do, type of thing. So with haters and everything else, don't take anything that anybody tells you, I don't give a fuck who they are, that you can't do something. If you've got your mind set up, or you got your heart set up for it, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. If you got your heart set up for it, nothing can fucking stop you. So after the explosion, the brain injury and stuff, and my initial stay in the hospital, they were doing...
How long was that? How long were you in the hospital?
Initially, I really wasn't in the hospital all that long, because they didn't realize what was the severity of the head injury and everything else, because I guess I could bullshit my way through, talking to the nurses and the doctors in the room and stuff. And so that's when they were getting ready, I think, to discharge me, if my memory serves me correctly, like in a day or two. I got the titanium mesh, and they did the open head surgery and all that shit and everything. But it was a day or two before I was in there, like, you know what, let's just maybe see if he's bullshit. Oh, that's what it was. So they were asking me questions like what day of the week it was, because I was like 10-second Tom on that 51st States movie or something. And they would ask me something or whatever. I'd ask the same questions over again, or I would forget what I was, just a few seconds later. And so I was bullshitting them, and because I was just kind of in panic mode, fight or flight, and trying, kind of like telling the cop what he wants to hear type of thing, mentality. And so they asked me if I knew what the day was, and I think I saw it up on the board written behind the nurse on the deal on the wall, and I told them, but it didn't have the year there. And they said, very good, can you tell us what year it is? And I was like, yeah, it's 96. And they're like, oh shit, we better look into this a little bit more. So I go into this testing room with this doctor, and he gives me a battery of tests. And it started out with math problems. And it was literally like, he had a sheet of paper, and it was big print and everything, kind of like a preschool or a kindergarten, but it was 2 + 2, things like that. I could look at it, and my oldest was 4 at the time, and I knew that he could do it, but I couldn't. And that was like, what the hell? So they give me another, the test kept getting easier, like down to, preschool level, so to speak. Another one was I had to read like C-Spot Run. I could read the words and everything, but I had no cognition of what I was reading. I couldn't tell you who the fuck Spot was, couldn't tell you what he was doing, or what the story was, or anything like that. So then, take another test down. The last test that he gave me was, there was 5 cards, kind of like jumbo size playing cards, like little kid cards or whatever, but they had pictures on them, and it was a picture of a snowman, a complete snowman in one, and another one had a puddle with the hat and the coal and the carrot and all that shit in it, and the other ones were a process of the snowman melting, and I was supposed to put them in sequence, and I couldn't do it. And so this doctor was like, well, be happy that you're alive. This is your life. And it's not going to be what you wanted it to be or what it was, but you're alive, and be happy, be thankful about that.
I don't mind what you say about me, most of it
it's not going to be what you wanted it to be or what it was, but you're alive and be happy, be thankful about that.
This is what you got.
Yeah, exactly. It's a done deal. You know, the brain's hardwired type of mentality and everything else. And as soon as he said that, and I was already frustrated over all this stuff, and man, I was just so mad. I started bawling, and I just started doing Morse code and started cussing him out in Morse code. And I'm like, why then can I still do Morse code? And I know that, but I can't fucking do this. And he just looked at me, he's like, I don't know, the brain's just funny like that. And that was it, and he walked out. And I made that decision, I made that decision that day. When I went back to my room, I was pissed, made everybody get out. And I dug down. And I was like, no, you know what? I'll tell you why you fuckers call it a practice. Because you don't know. You don't know me. You don't know what I'm capable of. You don't know this and that. And the neuroplasticity of the brain and everything else comes from a drive. I mean, you got to get, it's that same drive, I'm not going to quit, I'm not going to fail. I think I was talking with Chad Mason last night. So fast forward a couple of years. I've had my spinal cord surgery at this point, but I'm still got a lot of cognitive things going on. This is when I contacted you again when I was in California at Center for Neural Skills.
I want to go mountain biking.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to, that was one of my desires. I want to go mountain biking. I wasn't allowed to ride a bike.
I know, man.
I had to learn how to ride a bike again, and had to take a bicycle test in a parking lot with the cones and this and that, and almost like a motorcycle test, I guess. And in order for insurance to say that if I got hurt riding a bike or anything, that it would be okay, that they would cover me, because apparently I could do it because I had so many balance issues and things like that.
What were they going to do if you you're on your own now, sorry.
Well, yeah, well, see, the thing is I guess when somebody who has a traumatic brain injury or head injury, I'm more likely to resustain it.
And reset.
Exactly, than somebody who's never had one. I'm more likely to, it's kind of like just hitting that bruise again or something and causing it. So the insurance company and stuff, their fear is if this, if he does this and that, reset, and then now we're on the fucking hook for, and we've already brought him, through the surgery and everything, and now he's just gonna
family loss.
And that's another, exactly, and that's another thing, another belief that they tried to instill into me, and actually did at one point, changing my life. And that's the thing, you got to watch what you take in, and meditate on, like words like you're a failure, this and that, or whatever, and don't say that shit to yourself, because you are listening to yourself. You got to have that drive, no matter what. Like I was saying, and I probably got off a little budding show there, but you got to have that drive. I called you, hey man, I want a mountain bike. I want to learn how to start mountain biking again and doing things. And you know what? Since then, I've done mountain bike races. Yeah. I didn't do very well, and I crashed.
Yeah, I hate mountain biking with your ass.
But it's one of those things. It's just keep working at it and do it. I can read now. I try to read every damn day. Very good books. So I'm doing a lot of shit that they said I would never be able to do.
People telling you can't do something spur you to do it for sure.
Exactly.
I thrive more off of negative.
Exactly.
Fail or whatever. But do you remember when did you come here? 3 or 4 years ago?
Yeah,
when
14.
I picked you up in Nashville?
Yep. 2014.
You remember when we started doing the videos, and I would just hand you a sheet of paper and go read this? You would read it. It would take longer to read for sure.
Yeah.
But like when I just gave you that and you read that and you're like, this doesn't make any sense. 4 years ago, you just read it and didn't realize that it didn't make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe it.
You did that shit.
Yeah.
The doctors are like, hey, here's your fucking 2-year-old life. Enjoy it.
Exactly. Well, that's the other thing.
That's all you got.
That's the other thing. It's like, so get through all that bullshit, and then you're on all these meds the rest of your life. Well, with you're taking this med to counter this one or whatever, and all these other things. And with the brain injury, if I forgot to take my meds, which happened quite a bit, when they'd start hitting their half-life, it would just throw my system out of whack. Like, just the world was just did nothing made sense or whatever. Vision was da-da-da. But that's just shit. But getting back to you, I'm sorry. Center for Neural Skills. So my oldest, Mason, was 4 at the time. I wanted to teach him how to throw a football. But because of my vestibular problems and stuff, I couldn't. Birds flying in through the air and stuff would make me get vertigo and get sick and throw up and shit. So I would go in every day. I had therapy Monday through Friday from 8 to 4. And I would make the kids' mom times we were married, I would make her take me there because I couldn't drive yet. I'd make her take me there. I'd be there at 7 when the doors open for the staff to start coming in and shit. I'd get there at 7 and I would go into like the OT place, occupational and stuff like that. And I would either like grab it'd have a bowl of mixed nuts and bolts and stuff. And I would sit there to work my fine motor skills and shit. Sorting bolts and things and put them together on my own, doing shit like that. They also had a wall that had this horrible wrapping paper on it. And it had like paisley and triangles and all these different patterns and colors and shit. And so I'd stand there staring at the wall and I had a ball. And I'd have to throw it up like this and catch it and see it because the pattern stuff would make me lose my balance or make me get sick of it, throw up or dry heave or whatever, and then fucking get back on it again as soon as that little fit was over and I could kind of settle down. And I was doing this every day for an hour before my therapy started and for another hour at the end. I would sandwich the days like that. And it wore me out. The kids' mom would get very upset because on the weekends and stuff, I just wanted to sleep because I was just exhausted because I was putting out so far, but I wanted my fucking life back, you know? And I would say if you want to go into recon or SEALs or anything, whatever you want to do, you better fucking want it like that. You better hate where you're at so fucking much and want to get there that whatever you have to do to change doesn't matter, that you're going to do it, you know, and you're going to work and you're going to pay that price and it will cost you something. But I guarantee you, through doing that, you will start to develop and build intestinal fortitude and everything else, stronger heart, gut checks and stuff. And I think once you do that, like you said earlier, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So it's like me at the house. If I'm in my kitchen and I'm cooking and I'm going back down to my shop or whatever, and I have my paper towel and I, you know, as I'm walking by the trash can, I never play basketball. Sometimes I make
that shit up when it hits the fucking ground.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't just fucking leave it there. And sometimes it may even be, I'll see it hit and I'm like 2 or 3 steps and then I'll call myself on it. Bullshit. Turn around and get that. You know, because that, and as simple as that sounds, or as little as that sounds, it's fucking huge. Because once you can do that about that, you'll start doing about bigger things and more important things. And not only that, once you start getting it, you'll start getting this success, this addiction to the success, and that feeling, which will start to snowball and generate that another success and another, and it just starts building up on it, and it just starts becoming your norm.
Build your foundation.
Exactly. Just like the run, swim, runs, and this and that, or the pool PTs and stuff like that were kicking everybody's ass and causing people to quit. Fast forward that the guys that made it 6 or 7 months or whatever, that's their fucking daily norm, and they're showing up to that shit hungover, and you know what I mean? And so what changed? Are you really in that much better shape because you were a first-class POT? You may have better techniques. You may have a better swim stroke now or understand it, but I guarantee you got a lot more mental fortitude and stuff of the crossover and stuff. And that's one thing that it kicks a lot of guys' ass is the crossover. Whether it's in buds or whatever, a lot of people fell from the crossover not being able to do it. And what the crossover is typically when you're doing water aerobics or something, you'll be doing on the edge of the pool, and they'll have you'll do 25 and 5 push-ups or whatever, and you'll be in the upward push-up position, and they'll yell a stroke and blow a whistle, and you got to dive in and go across the pool.
I told you this day would come. We have some water. Do you want to demonstrate it?
I've done it for you.
I can demonstrate it for the camera, though. I mean, we have a pool for you.
It's not big enough. I need like Olympic-sized deal. But the crossover is
There's that failure.
Right, exactly. The crossover is a 25-meter underwater swim. And it's not like you're just fresh and you're going. I mean, you've already done your pool PT, because water aerobics is usually at the end of that evolution. And so you're already tired and stuff, and you're doing maybe freestyles or breaststroke or combat side stroke or whatever, and then throw an underwater swim to the mix here and there, and everything. And if you can't have that mentality to, I'm not going to hit the surface until my hand hits that wall. And there's a lot of people that'll be this far from the wall. And I think this is a true in life for a lot of things. You're working your ass off and everything else, and you've got, out of the 25 meters to your goal, you've got 22 of them behind you already. And you can see it right there. And you think you're going to fucking die or whatever, so you just give up. Whereas, if you would have just pushed forward or done a better technique or whatever, you know.
Priscilla say that all the time.
Exactly.
Success was right there where you
and it's true.
You didn't fail. You quit.
It's true. And so what I started doing when I didn't really have a problem with the crossovers, because I was talking about earlier with my buddy getting ready for the end-dock and stuff. I was doing stuff like that and everything, and I actually got to the point where I was doing the size of the Olympic pool, the length, you know. And I came up with a technique that I figured if I started at the shallow end, and it was just more to get over the mind fuck of it. Kind of like, if I want to go and run 2 miles, I better be able to do 5, you know, type of deal.
Do you remember when you were like 2 and I'd hold you in the bathtub and not let you breathe?
It's the same.
Yes. That's what we were getting you ready for.
But so I had to find another technique. So what I did was I started in the shallow end, and I would go down, and then once it hit the deep end, instead of staying under the surface, it's kind of like...
So now you got to equalize with it.
Exactly. But it's like, okay, I know I'm over halfway, and this is going to be the part that sucks. So I'm really going to dig down, and I'm going down, and so down at surface, but at the same time I'm still traveling, and I had to figure that technique to come back up and hit the wall at the same time before I broke the surface. Well, it's just like anything else. You may have to have a different technique. Get these guys who are afraid, well, what if I black out when I go down or whatever? And so they start doing it right on the surface. Well, the surface is right there, and you start feeling your feet kick it and everything. You know, the next thing you know, you're heading and you just mind fucked yourself.
Aren't there dudes crossover without breathing?
Yeah. It's
there and back?
Yeah, you can. That'd be the same as, like, doing the length of the pool would be the same as going across and back, on one breath. But, you know, it's this, that I'm definitely not in the same shape that I was then. I don't swim every day now and everything else.
Is that why you're scared to go show us?
It is. But, like, my kids ask me, like, we've been a public pool or something like that, you know, Olympic-sized pool or whatever. Dad, what did you used to do in this night? And I would tell them stuff like this across with them. Oh, can you still do it? I'm like, fuck yeah, I can still do it. So I'll take my fat ass down. You've seen me do it, haven't you? Yeah. At the Olympic size where they have swim meets and stuff like that, 50-meter crossover. So the lifeguards go up there going, all right, you know. But it's I'm not in the shape that I was in or whatever else, you know. So it wasn't, but I still have that mental capacity that I can still do that. It hurts. I'm not looking as cool or whatever when I come to the other end. My face is probably all red. But you know what? I've still got that capacity that I'm not fucking breaking that surface until I hit that wall. What my goal is, and I think that's the thing. If you can drive yourself to be comfortable being uncomfortable, you know. And you guys, I'm sure, said too on patrols. It'd be rain or whatever. Man, this sucks. Or I love how much this sucks. I wish it could suck more. And that is the mentality, because it's gonna suck. But the thing that does set those guys, the snipers, the recon, the SEALs, whatever, about from the other ones, is that when it sucks, like Goggins, that's when that individual becomes awake.
Why is recon better than snipers?
Well, you guys don't get UDTs, do you?
Negative. No UDTs.
What else do you need?
Why is recon better than SEALs?
Shit, they get UDTs. It's not the haircuts, because they got better hair.
You guys have the same watch.
Yep, same watch. Fuck. Because they get a badge.
They get a badge.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
All right, they get a badge.
You know why snipers is better than all of them? Because we fail SEALs and recon guys.
Yes. Yes, you do.